we're gonna discuss all the pointers related to that. So special tips and quick revision points before the term pre-examination 2022. So what all are we going to discuss? We are going to we're just gonna have a look on the sample paper for term 2 that has been released by the board. Then we're gonna discuss the roadmap or the strategy to prepare for exams starting in the last week of April. How to get 90% plus, tips and tricks for the difficult topics along with the highlight on the difficult topics. So I'm pretty much sure everyone is aware of the syllabus for term 2. That is from macro, we are having 2 units. Please mark my words, they're units, not chapters. So the full unit 2, national income and rigid aggregates, and determination of income and employment for macro is coming. And from Indian economic development, the unit 7. Unit 7 is basically having 6 chapters. So from those, only 3 chapters are coming. So unit 7, current challenges facing Indian economy. So from that, only employment, infrastructure, and sustainable economic development is coming. The first 3 chapters from this unit have already come in term 1, apart from the first 3 chapters of unit 6 are already have been covered in term 1. Apart from that, unit 8, development experience of India. So I'm pretty much sure by so far everyone is aware of the what all chapters or what are the units that are coming in the exam. So if we see, this is the paper, this is how the paper of sample question paper released by CBSE looks like. So the first question was from national income. We are going to have a little bit of analysis on the question paper. We are going to discuss that. So have data-based questions, tabular questions, case study-based questions. So all that was covered. So let us analyze the CBSE sample paper. So we are expecting a kind of replica on the same. It might or might not happen, but yes, we are definitely counting that the similar kind of replica will be created from the CBSE sample paper issue. So in that, we can clearly see there's only one question on knowledge based. Then there were 7 questions which were understanding based, out of which 2 questions were from national income. 2 questions were from determination of income employment. One question was from comparative experience, India, China, Pakistan. One from the environment chapter and one from employment chapter. Now, if we go for application based, again, there were 2 numericals, basically a national income, and 1 question from determination of income employment. Then analysis based, there were 3 questions. So out of which 2 questions were from infrastructure, 2-marker question. Then 1 from comparative development, India, China, and Pakistan, and 1 from employment chapter, right? So I hope you all can see that what are the sections of the paper. So the time allowed is 2 hours, maximum marks 40 marks. There is only 1 section in the paper. The paper is not segmented into any section A, section B. It's a mixed section paper. And this is a subjective based question paper containing 13 questions in all. So you will have 5 questions of 2 marks, 5 questions of 3 marks, and 3 questions of 5 marks each. So this time there are no objective based questions, there are no 1-marker questions. They are all subjective based questions. 2-marker questions were never there in economics papers so far. There were only 3, 4, and 6-marker. This time we do not have any 4-marker question nor any 6-marker question. We only have 5-marker question. So this time the paper is based out of 2, 3, and 5 marks questions. So 2 marks questions are short type again, to be answered in 30 to 50 words. 3 markers are also short types to be answered from 50 to 80 words. Long type are 5 markers to be answered from 80 to 120 words. There was a case or source or database question, and there was an internal choice in question 1, 2, and 4, which were 2 markers. Question 6, which was a 3-marker question, and question 12, which was a 5-marker question. So this is how the internal choice was there in the paper. So I hope you know that the demonstrating understanding based was 46%, application and knowledge based 22%, and then analyzing, evaluating, creating the concepts was 32%. So now comes the main part of the webinar, that how to go about the paper. So, what is the date today? Today is, if I'm not wrong, 22nd of March. And from 25 or 26th of April, you're starting with your exam. So I'm assuming that by 21st April, like by maximum by 21st April, you'll start with your preparation of the next exams. Now, the first exam is of English. So by on 22nd, from 22nd onwards, you will start preparing for your next exam. So by then, I'm assuming for the next 30 days, you will be practicing all the subjects and to go about all the subjects. So let us see how do we divide it. So out of the 30 days left, I have divided 10 days for studying and 20 days for revision and solving the sample papers. So let us see how the timetable of this will go about. You can click on picking the screenshots of the same if you feel like. Again, the kind of timetable I'm gonna share is just a sampler timetable. It is just a sample. You can prepare, you can align the chapter as per your own requirement, and you can, definitely go about it by your own end. And the teachers also can guide the students accordingly, howsoever they want it to go by, right? So I'm assuming that economics is not the only subject that we are going to study for the next 30 days. If we are students from humanities, science, or commerce with maths or IP background, be it any kind of background it is, we are going to be studying each and every subject. We are going to be giving time to every subject. So as of now, I'm assuming that it will depend upon child to child. Someone might need 2.5 hours, someone might need 1.5 hours, someone might need 3 hours also. And few of you would have also been, done with your syllabus so far. You must have covered. So for the initial 10 days, I just told you that, just a second. We have 30 days, out of which 10 days are for studying and 20 days are for revision. So let us see how I have divided the first 10 days for studying. So to national income and rating aggregates, starting from today or maybe tomorrow itself. So if we start today itself, so day 1, 2, and 3. I guess 3 days are enough if we start revising national income and related aggregates like from the scratch, from the beginning. So 3 days are enough to go about that. Then we have day 4, 5, and 6. Again, both the units are long units. That's why I've given 3 days to both the units. So on an average, it will give like, let's say 2.5 hours each day. So you will be able to cover up these chapters even if we start from the scratch today. Those who are ahead of it, then definitely that's a add-on point. But those who are still debating how to go about and they have no queue and they feel like that now we are late enough and they are facing a lot of problem by the fact that I don't know what is to be done. So if you will follow this planner, then I'm pretty sure you will be easily able to secure 90% plus in your examination. So day 1, 2, and 3 we have given to national income and related aggregates. Day 4, 5, and 6 we have given to determination of income and employment. Day 7 we have given to employment chapter. Day 8 we have given to infrastructure. Day 9 we have given to sustainable economic development. And day 10 we have given to development experience of India, that is the comparative development with India, China, and Pakistan. Now let us see how to do the revision. So I know all the teachers, everyone around you must be telling you to practice the mock test as of now. So those who are already done with the syllabus, they can start practicing mock tests from tomorrow only. And those who are not, then they can prepare, they can follow the previous timetable that has been shared to go through the chapters first in the depth and then start practicing the papers. So for day 1 and 2, what we'll do is we'll practice the previous year papers. We will we will take out the previous year papers of, let's say, 18, 19, 20, or even more so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever you feel like, past 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever you feel like, right? So we're gonna practice the question papers. We're gonna first of all have a look at on day 1 and 2. We are clearly going to see the question papers, read the answers, but then only auditing is not just fine. It is very necessary for you to write the same questions by your own hand so that the concept stays in your mind. So on day 3 and 4, we are going to practice the previous year question papers, the question papers that we have just studied. And if we go by day 5 and 6, we are going to, first of all, okay, this is one thing which is very, very, very necessary. What happens is we, keep on giving the mock test on and on and on and on. We just keep on giving the mock test. And let's say out of 40 marks, I started with 30 and I only end up by the last mock test I'm giving, I end up getting 33 or 34. Why is it so? Or even if I start with 20, I end up with 29, 30. We are not able to, go beyond 35, beyond 38. Why is it so? Because there is one word which is missing, which is called as follow-up, which is very, very, very mandatory. So we really need, so the mock test that you have done today. So I guess if it's you're sitting for 2 hours per day, so I'm pretty much sure you'll be able to wind up the mock test in 1.5 hour, 1 hour, 40 minutes or so. Then you are going to get it checked, and whatever flaws you have, I have specifically kept 1 day for it, a full 1 day for the follow-up. That let's say out of 13 questions, I got full marks in 8, but 2 questions were wrong, and then 3 questions I got my marks deducted in. Then in all those 5 questions, I'm going to practice that again and I'm going to get checked. Let's say out of 13, I could only secure full marks in 3. Then I'm again going to write then all remaining 10 questions again on the follow-up date. And again going to get that evaluated from whomsoever I am getting the guidance from. Then day 7 and 8, similarly. Day 9 and 10, similar. Then we have given 3 mock tests. Now let's say in my mock tests, I am not satisfied with the kind of result I'm getting. If you are, then that's good enough. Then day 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you can follow up the same pattern. But hypothetically assuming that after giving 3 mock tests, I feel like that it is not going anywhere. I was getting, let's say, 15, 17 or 18 marks, and I am just able to get 20, 24 now. So we're gonna again give 2 days to revise the whole syllabus again. And then again, we're going to follow the mock test and follow-up schedule. And then last 2 days, we will revise the syllabus again. So if you see the schedule, this is once in the 10 days that from the scratch, you have revised your syllabus thoroughly. And I'm pretty much sure that you will not feel that economics is the only subject we are ending up studying. In this timetable, we have ample room to study all the subjects. Again, in the practice, 2 hours is the maximum amount, and I'm expecting you to spare. It can be less than that also. So if you study this kind of thing, revision once, then previous papers revision, then you're going to revise up second time. Then after the 3 mock tests, you're going to revise for the 3rd time. And then on day 19 and 40, but 20th, we are going to revise for the 4th time. So if we have that kind of command, then when the exam will happen, we are going to be very confident on the same. Right? So now comes one more thing that the students always keeps on asking me, ma'am, can you please tell what are the important topics? I hope it is very much visible from you from the CBSE sample paper that the syllabus is on, the syllabus part is also way less now, but still from that, I will tell you few topics that you really, really, really need to, focus upon. So from macro, that is the first unit, national income and related aggregates. So the first of all, we have the basic concepts in macroeconomics. So I hope you have seen the sample paper. The first question was differentiate between capital and consumer goods. So basic concepts are important, but you can just give it a brush up. Then circular flow of income in two-sector economy. That is a very important topic that you should actually go by. You should know the difference between it, real flow, money flow, the diagram, the analysis of it, and everything. Then you have seen clearly there was a 5-marker question of calculating national income. And that can come through any method. So you should be thorough with all the 3 methods. That is the value added product method, expenditure method, income method, precautions regarding it. You have to go through all the things. And then we have the conversion equations and all the related aggregates. And then we have the last topic, that is GDP and welfare. I hope you know that from the last few years, this topic has really gained a lot of momentum. So you really need to focus on this topic. These are just samples that on which all specifics you actually need to focus a lot. I will suggest you to read all the concepts, but specifically these concepts you have to go through. Then if we go by determination of income and employment, these are the various topics that are there in the syllabus. That is aggregate demand its component, MPC, MPS, APC, and APS, equilibrium output through Keynesian, that is classical, and as well as modern approach. Then investment multiplier. Investment multiplier is one of the very important topics. The conversion, the equations, the numericals, K is equals to 1 upon 1 minus MPC. So all these are very, very important. Then there's one question which is very important, that is how to correct excess demand and deficient demand. That is through quantitative as well as qualitative measures. All the three quantitative measures, all the three qualitative measures, bank rate, CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, open market operations, margin requirements, government spending, taxes, money supply. All these are very, very, very important. So you have to specifically focus on the part of the measures to correct excess and deficient demand. So please focus on this part a lot. Then from Indian Equal, I'll tell you, although the syllabus part is very less, so you really need to study all the parts. There's one thing that you need to focus upon is you need to, pay attention on facts and figures. From employment chapters, we are basically having database questions, and the database questions are getting picked from NCRT. Okay, there's one question that I, get from students all the time, ma'am, that when we see the data is different in all the books. Whatever book we refer, even if we refer the internet, we have different book. So for that, I will tell you, please refer to the data of NCRT. Stick to the NCRT specifically for data. Then we have the last unit, that is a development experience, comparison of India with Pakistan, comparison of India with China. So for that, you really, really, really need to address the tables and the figures of the various human development indicators, growth, population, sectoral development in each and everything. Please do focus on all the tables, all the comparison figures that are given. Now, what are the things that we need to avoid before the exam? Again, we do this very often. We keep on procrastinating. We just, keep on. I just need someone to mute themselves. Padma, ma'am, you need to mute yourself, please. Yeah, thank you. So this is one thing that we do. We just keep on procrastinating. We'll start studying from tomorrow. We'll start studying from day after tomorrow, Monday, 1st April, or whatsoever. So I have this very strong feeling that from today itself, I hope the session would be a little motivational enough for you so that you can, stop putting off your studying for last minute and you will start studying today itself. You will start your studies from today itself. I've given you a timetable. Those who are very worried that now it's not the time, we won't be able to study. So what is the use of studying at all now? But you are not at all late. Even if you start studying from today itself, you can easily secure 90-95% marks, even 100% marks, very easily. Do not overcram before the night. Now, night before the exam is the time to relax. You just be thorough with your revision, be thorough with your mock test, be thorough with your examination, and be thorough with your preparation, and then just leave it. Do not cram before the night. Do not compare your preparations. This is one thing that we all end up doing, including myself when I was a child. This is one thing we do. Oh my God, she's solving this, she's studying like that, he's doing that, the topper is doing this, the other student is doing no. We have different ways of starting, and it's important to focus. Once you have set your course of action, the way you are going to study, just stick to it. Forget about others' techniques. Do not compare yourself with your friends, your classmates, and just stick to it. Do not refer to any new book to the last minute. If whatever books you're studying right now, you can just select one book as of now and stick to it. Do not, keep on changing the book from time to time. That somebody studying this book, I will refer this book. Somebody studying that book, I will refer this book. Don't be late for your exam. This is one thing everyone is telling you all the time, because that creates so much anxiety and so much pressure that it takes away all the peace from your mind. And whatever you just get hassled up. Now, how to write the examination and secure 90% plus. So the first thing is, you will get some reading time, let's say 10 to 15 minutes. So you really need to read the question paper carefully. You just read the paper because in those 10-15 minutes we are not allowed to write at all. So just this is one problem that we face in economics a lot, that when the paper comes, we all get very excited. Even while solving the mock test paper, you will find this, one tip of mine very useful, that when the paper comes, we really feel it was such an easy paper. It was so easy for us to write the exam. But when the mock test is done and you get it evaluated and you feel like what was wrong, and then you get to know, when you get to know the follow-up of it, when you get to know that what was wrong, and then you really realize that I was already aware of it. I already knew the mark. I already knew the answer. So this is one problem that we all face in economics, that we already know the answer. It's just that we are not aware what answer is this of. So we do not know that what answer we have to give to it. So you really need to analyze the question very carefully and decide the answer of the same. Because this is the most trickiest part of economics specifically, that we know the answers, but we do not know that what answer is this question of. So there is one more thing that you should really know is, you'll be getting internal choices. I told you now. So there are 5 internal choices in 2 marks, 3 markers, and 6 markers. Overall, we have 5 choices. So in those reading time, you can definitely decide that which question you're going to attempt in the choices. And avoid thinking too much of the question. Thinking about the question is definitely very essential, I just told you about. But do not waste a lot of your time on one question. If you're stuck on one question, then just skip that part and move to the next question. Use easy language. It is not very mandatory for you to write very difficult vocabulary words and very tough language. If you have the simple concept written in a simple conceptual language, then that is more than necessary. Then write formula and row diagram wherever necessary. In economics, we have a few graphs. So if in case your anything requires drawing or finding graphs, then you can definitely draw your graphs. Don't waste your time. You definitely need to spare some time for checking your answer sheet for your mistakes. So I will expect you to wind up your exam. Let's say if you have 2 hours, then you should really wind up your exam in 8 to 100 minutes. So that you have somewhere around 20 minutes at the max or at the minimum to revise. So that's all from my end for the day. Now I will welcome any queries that we have. Before I welcome the queries, I would again like to stress upon this part of the way you will go about. You can again click the screenshots of the same. For national income and determination of income employment, you need to have concept clarity. You need to go by the numericals. You need to practice the numericals. You need to really practice the question by your hand. And then for the revision part, there is again, I'm telling you, one more very important thing is follow up. You really need to follow up the things that you're practicing. So that's all from my end. Now I will welcome the doubts that all of you have. You can write your doubts in the chat box.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Any deleted portion, ma'am, in this second term?
Ma'am, deleted portion is specifically given in the syllabus. That the syllabus that I've just shown you was the portion
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you need to focus upon now.
Okay.
I will share my screen again.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, just give me a minute. So if you will see, this is the syllabus that you need to focus upon. From Indian economy, growth and changes in workforce participation rate, formal and formal sector, problem and policies. From infrastructure, we have meanings and types, case studies, health problems and policies. From sustainable economic development, we have meaning, effects of economic development of resources environment, including global warming specifically. And from determination of income employment, I have already shown you the syllabus that is there, and so is for national. So this is the only portion that is there in the syllabus now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other doubt to anybody else? You can please ask your doubts. You can either write in the chat box, either you can speak up the doubts. So by this, I'm assuming there are no doubts. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.